Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, and by my count, there are exactly 8 Pokémon that are not pre-evolutions, that we haven't talked about from Battle Region yet, that we should probably be talking about from Battle Region. So that's what we're going to do today, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to finish our look at Battle Region. We are going to look at every card from Battle Region we've not yet looked at. Sound like a good plan? Sounds like fun to me. That's why I'm making the video. So starting off, there is a new Heracross. Is there anything good about this Heracross? I mean, the artwork is stunning. I adore the artwork. 2 energy, 40 damage. Maybe not terribly excited about that. 3 energy, 120 plus 30 to one of your own bench. It's just not enough going on here. There's nothing about this particular card that makes me go, yeah! It's just fine. It is a kind of card that could do you well in a pre-release, but probably isn't going to win any real tournaments. Shout out, I should say, to the lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net for providing the translations. Moving over into water, there is a new Whiscash, which I think is by that new artist people are loving. So, you know, there's at least something. The thing is, 3 energy, 80 damage, that is way too expensive. Frankly, ladies and gentlemen, I expect a little bit more when I'm putting 3 energy onto a stage 1. But hey, I can put a 4th energy on, and then I deal 120 damage, flipping a coin. If heads, I do 60 more. If tails, I do 60 to myself. Don't forget, of course, you can always use Glimwood Tangle to try and cheat a little bit. Only for a couple of months after this comes out, but still, you'll have it for a little while. The thing is, 4 energy, 180 is still not that great. Yes, I can use Frostmoth, again, only for a few months, but it'll still be there. And then I'm dealing 180 and I'm getting a KO on stuff like Crobat, but it still just seems a little bit expensive, and on a stage 1, that's not quite good enough. Now, there is a new Jinx coming around, and this one could be kind of interesting. 100 HP I don't love, especially because you are just out of reach of using Level Ball, so cheers for that. But for 3 energy, you deal 80 damage? No. But for 2 energy, switch your opponent's active with one of their bench. The new active Pokemon is now confused. Bearing in mind, of course, we've got double turbo energy we can use here, which will essentially do this in one go, and you deal 20 less damage, but that doesn't matter because you're not doing any damage. So you're dragging them active, you're confusing them. The thing is, with Pokemon like this, I always go back to Oricorio. Now, it's from Celestial Storm, it's a little while ago, admittedly, but that was single energy, and it was burned and confused. And I don't know why. I mean, is Oricorio really that good? We keep just getting nerfed versions of it returning. I'm not in love with it, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I'm not. Now, there is a new Relicanth coming. This has got 90 HP, so hey, Level Ball. And we got 3 colorless energy, 80 damage. And I'm hoping I don't need to spend much time explaining to you that 3 colorless energy, 80 damage is frankly not good enough. Sorry about that. But there is another attack coming in here as well. For 1 colorless energy, put 2 basic energy from your discard pile into your hand. Now, this has a lot of stuff that I like. It is a single colorless energy on a basic Pokemon. And aside from free attacks, and we know that actually with Battle Region free attacks are back for Hisuian Pokemon, but outside of that, this is as techable as you can get. This is basic Pokemon, single energy, colorless energy. In terms of being able to fit this into a deck nice and easily, it could not be much more easy. But the fact of the matter is, it's still spending your attack for the turn, getting 2 basic energy back to your hand. And I think there will be times where it's an emergency and this will be really good, but I don't know if there will be enough times where this is good in an emergency to make it worth playing in your deck. Sorry about that. We've got a new Hippowdon who comes in with a Dwebble just chilling in the corner as well, which makes me happy. And here we've got 150 HP on a stage 1, which is admittedly huge. Now, we've also got 80 damage for 3 energy. I can't get excited about that, ladies and gentlemen. I just can't. 3 energy on a stage 1, no. For 4 energy, you deal 180 but discard 2 of them. And again, it goes back to what we were saying about Whiscash just a moment ago. You're talking about a Pokemon that's a stage 1 and I'm supposed to put 4 energy on? Now, fighting's a decent weakness to hit, and 180 will naturally get stuff like Kricketune, but you're still talking about 4 energy on a stage 1, and I just get the feeling that this is just too gosh darned expensive, and it's not something I can get excited about. Now, Absol actually comes in as a holo rare. Remember, Japan does not have non-holo rares, despite the fact that I have had discussions with people where they have been swearing blind that Japan does have non-holo rares right now. They don't. That was weird. Is it any good? Is it worth it? Is it the kind of holo we want to be opening? Well, for 1 darkness energy, you deal 10 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. And 10 damage is pretty weak. We want to be doing 20. But you are talking single energy basic Pokemon. It's not great, and I ain't going to pretend it's great. But as early game spread, turn 1, going second, things of that nature, I've seen worse. For 2 energy, 1 darkness, 1 colourless, 50 damage, but if the defending Pokemon has any damage on it, you deal 120. So you drop something like, I don't know, let's say Galarian Zigzagoon to stick with darkness Pokemon. And then all of a sudden, you're doing 120 for 2 energy. It's fine, but it's not good. And I want good. And this isn't good. This is just fine. Now, I told you about Hoot Hoot the other day, and I told you that Hoot Hoot actually had a really nice ability that stopped your opponent removing energy using trainer cards, which is really good. Like, Hoot Hoot is legitimately a good card that's going to see a huge amount of play. However, I didn't tell you about Noctowl. Now, Noctowl stage 1, 2 colourless energy, 50 damage, look at your opponent's hand. That's it. It's not enough. Not for 2 energy on a stage 1. And this is one of those where I'm not even considering double turbo energy, because the reality is double turbo energy means I'm doing 30 damage, and that's just way too little. Or if I want to add a 3rd energy on there, I can instead do 120 damage. And then I have to discard an energy from this Pokemon. And I know that 120 will get a lot of single prize Pokemon, the vast majority of non-stage 2. And I know it's colourless energy, which helps. But you're asking me to put 3 energy on a pretty weak, low HP stage 1. And even then, I'm only getting the majority of stage 1 or basic single prizes, and I'm never hitting for weakness. This is not something I can get behind, ladies and gentlemen. I am sorry. So we've got one last chance here with Purugly, and I mean, Purugly's clearly been naughty, breaking that vase, but could it then make it up to us by helping us win? And the answer is, I'm afraid, possibly not. 1 colourless energy, 30 damage, flip a coin if heads paralysis. And look, I mentioned Glimwood Tangle earlier. You can use that to reflip and try and get that heads. And I like flip a coin if heads paralysis attacks. Because the fact of the matter is, we've seen these be good in the past. But when we've seen this be good in the past, there's always been something else going on. So, for instance, there was a Dynamo a little while ago that had this attack, but the thing was, it was one from Noble Victories. For a single lightning energy, you deal 10 damage, flip a coin if heads paralysis. But that evolved into Electric, and Electric was one of the best decks in the game. And we had Victini at the time, which functioned in the same way as Glimwood Tangle does, so what you would essentially do is you would have Dynamo out and try and paralyze your opponent to give you time to build up your Electric, which was how you were going to go and win the game. That worked. That was really good. This is a stage 1. 30 damage isn't very much. You're not evolving any further. And the only other attack is free energy, 100 damage. And with the best will in the world, ladies and gentlemen, I cannot get excited about an attack which is free energy, 100 damage, on a stage 1, especially when there's no chance whatsoever I'm hitting for weakness. So unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, we end up in a situation where, even though there were 8 cards left to talk about, I'm not sure there were any hidden gems left in here. Maybe Absol ends up being a little bit interesting for spread. Maybe we get phenomenal fighting energy acceleration and Hippowdon ends up being quite good. But I rather suspect that these cards might end up in the bulk pile. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but hey, at least now we have talked about every card from Battle Region, and that makes me happy. But I want to know what you think. I want to know if any of these cards make you happy. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.